Rafi Soule from Old Dominion University. Rafi, can you hear me? I just want to do a sound check.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for checking. So she'll be talking about integrating human-centered design into Open RAN and 6G standardization, enhancing the user-centric deployment resilience. So these are very important topics. We had a potential contribution resilience by Chatai. He did talk last year, but he couldn't come this time. Briefly introduce Rafi. Rafi Soule is a PhD student in systems engineering at Old Dominion University, specializing in the integration of model-based systems engineering and the digital thread with a focus on decision-making and systems resilience. Research explores incorporating human-centered design into these frameworks to enhance early design decisions in complex systems, particularly during the conceptual design phase. This is very important. Systems engineering, we sometimes ignore that, right? Or overlook that, I should say. In addition to her academic work, Rafi is involved in the designing internship and work-based learning opportunities for distance learning PhD students. She also contributes to the projects on explainable AI, which is also an important topic, emphasizing ethics, biases, dynamic evaluation of large language models. Our interdisciplinary approach combines technical rigor with human-centered methodologies, particularly in the context of DoD mission engineering, Open RAN, and 6G standardization, maybe call it XG. So, or next G, I should say. All right, Rafi, with that, let's maybe 20 minutes presentation, 5 minutes discussion, and next steps. Back to you. Please share your slides. Thank you.
Okay, so are you sharing my slide or I have
If you have slides, so we'll prefer that unless you have a bandwidth issue. Otherwise, you have to tell us next.
Okay, I'm on campus, so I'm going to try.
Please try. If there is a problem, then we have Rafi's slide, right? Yeah. We have Rafi's slide. If you cannot, please let us know.
Okay, so I'm trying to share my screen. 1 second. I need to share the second screen.
If you are having trouble finding or presenting, let us know. We'll present quickly.
Can you see my screen?
Hasn't come here, I think. All right, share the screen and we will see. It should come up. Have you started sharing? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So we can see you and we can see your screen. Wait, no, we don't see your screen yet.
Go ahead and share again. It was there.
Just kindly share it again.
But it was sharing the wrong screen, you know? Okay, let me try one more time. I wanted to share because I have 2 monitors.
Yeah, that might sometimes happens to me too, so.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to share. Let's see if that works, because when I'm doing the monitoring stuff,
it's coming up. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. It's coming up. Yeah, it's here.
Can you see the first page?
Yes.
Okay.
Please proceed with your presentation.
Okay, 1 second. Now I need to be able to, I want to minimize this so I can see my screen properly. Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm here to present. This is, for me, this is an exploratory talk or research, how to integrate human-centered design into Open RAN and 6G standardization. Again, the goal is to enhance user-centered deployment and resilience. As we all know, I'm going to try to go to the next slide. Hopefully I can see it. Okay, so I'm just going to skip into the agenda. So we all know that the Open RAN and the next generation of cellular network is transitioning to a disaggregated Open RAN and advanced 6G technology. So integrating an HCD, which is human-centered design, into this standardization process becomes essential. So the system will not just upgrade technologically, but we are talking about a complex social-technical ecosystem that must align with the needs of diverse stakeholders, including not just users, operators, vendors, and policymakers. So as I said, the goal is to explore how we can incorporate this approach to be able to improve the network, the resilience, the security, adaptability to change, and so we can meet the real world demand. The goal is to have the user involved. So there's also something called a participatory design. I think they go hand in hand with human-centered design, where we apply empathy in terms of how we approach design at the early concept. So what we want to do is to have the users be co-designer during the conceptual phase. So by doing so, we can develop standards that prioritize users' needs, that optimize scalability and innovation. So we can integrate the human-centered design into the rapid reaction standardization activities for the open RAN and CG, for example. So in this context, we want to make sure the demand is always responding to the real world. The next slide. So, what are the challenges here? The challenges, there are many challenges, but the key challenges that I came up with is dynamic resource scheduling, the edge security monitoring, the visualization issue, and also addressing those key requires a deep understanding of the user need and operational context. Those are the current challenges. That is why incorporating the human side using empathy will help. So when we do this, it will help us improve the visual threats by developing intuitive visual representation of natural threats, for example, and also creating an easily understandable security report for various users and things like conveying urgency without causing stress or a fatigue, for example. This also could help in understanding the user's preferences, especially in terms of authentication systems that are user-friendly to the user. So it needs to be an adaptive to different user contexts. So the benefit of HCD increased standardization phase is it leads to more sustainable solutions. It helps create standards that are not only technical, but also consider the environmental and also a long-term adoption in different areas. It's also possible to be transferable across disciplines. It will also enhance the security and privacy by incorporating potential vulnerability into the early design process. This approach also helps improving how we react to or anticipate risk in any network threat issue. Next slide. in terms of area of integration, I came up with the security investment, which is again, we can develop uh, a standard that measures the and consider the behavior of users in a particular location or in a particular situation, and also we can focus on innovation by integrating like the RRSA, like I mentioned earlier. So it helps in understanding the user needs. It also helps creating a a how do I say it? A real world like a real time data update or information update while we move along. It's also all inclusive in terms of stakeholders participation. It's when we have everybody putting all the input at the same time in terms of integration by creating a thread, for example, everybody when they encounter a specific situation, they can actually put the data or response, and every entity involved can get this updated data, and that will automatically uh, update the conceptual level. It's kind of like a DevOps type of approach where, and it's iterative. Of course, people come in and keep adding situational data, things that happen, and it help refine the everything at the conceptual level. So what I'm trying to say is integration keeps happening. So the conceptual loop keeps going, is real-time data information. Next slide. So creating an adaptive and flexible standard. HCD can help create a standard that evolve with emerging technology. It will address changing users' expectation. It goes back with what I've just said earlier, and also remain relevant in the rapidly advancing technology landscape. So the ultimate goal here is to ensure that the Open RAN and 6G networks are very are addressing the future landscape by conducting in-depth research, survey, or observational studies, and gather insights as we go along. There's also something called a personal development. We can create a detailed user persona to represent different stakeholder groups, ensuring that their needs are considered throughout the standardization process. We could also talk about work on scenario planning, where we develop different use cases scenarios that reflect the real world challenges, allowing for more comprehensive and adaptable standards. Next slide. Again, I've been talking about human-centered design. So it all involves stakeholders, end users, operators, vendors. Everybody needs to be involved. I've mentioned, I've talked about being the users to be co-designer. Everybody involved to be co-designer from the beginning. So this process is iterative. It has iterative cycles of research, design, and testing. So we can have not only end users, operators, vendors, and policymakers, etc., to test and provide data. So in that gives us a better understanding of, and that helps us refine the approach based on feedback. And again, those response or data results will go back into that iterative or early concept loop that I've mentioned, where as they test and get result, that data gets feed into that loop and everything gets updated right away. So it's collaborative, it's complete user involvement, and it's all based on real world context. So we use past experience, current experience to provide, to give data and information into that early concept standard, and this, and it helps keep refining the decision to be effective. And my next slide. The future outlook is of the integrating HCD into the open RAN is going to increase the potential for innovation. There will be a greater focus on delivering value to all stakeholders, not just end users. And also, it's more sustainable and user-friendly wireless communication system. Okay, next slide. So in conclusion, I have that integrating HCD into the Open RAN and C standardization is crucial because it could inform the adaptive network configuration by enhancing the resilience and security. It can also create a system that fully serves the user. So everybody is taken into consideration. And that is the end of my presentation. Question.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. This is a new type of contribution. Alex and Mehmet, are you there on the call?
I'm here, Mehmet. I don't know. Yeah, I agree. This is new. This is interesting, and a lot of aspirational component. I would say I would start from a guide for user-centric. So that could be beneficial. You put your thoughts together. You put you depict the paradigm and the requirements of that paradigm, and then see what happens with the standards. They will follow.
Yeah, I specifically liked the overall approach. It is not only limited to Open RAN or 6G or 5G, maybe next G. These are some fundamental abstracts, pillars, best practice for systems engineering, how it can be applied when you're developing a new standard. We often, as I was telling before, we often neglect that. And this will probably remind the folks who are developing standards, say, these are the things you should be looking at. As you said correctly, Rafi, is a complex socio-technical ecosystems. So holistic problem solving, human-centered design, iterative design, take into account the users, operators, stakeholders. That will allow us to make the network flexible, adaptable to different types of application. I mean, that is the main reason we are jumping from 1G to next G to next G, because there's a new application, new demand for bandwidth, new demand for low latency. And those are the input, the KPIs that we need to take into account while we design our networks. It's not an ad hoc way we are doing it. Well, sometimes we do it, then we fix it again, right? But having a recommended guide, as Alex suggested, will help a lot of folks. If you're looking into a system, in a new system, new element you are adding, how do you go systematically to integrate that into the whole system? Or if you're defining a complete end-to-end, sometimes people are bold enough to design, and then also you can make use of your document. I mean, that will be my honest assessment. So
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, it's interesting that when you do user-centric, it's more quality of experience, right, rather than anything else, because
Right.
that's what user-centric means. Like you center it on quality of experience. You may be not losing errors, but experience is not good. But also, let me just point out something. IEEE SA has a 700 series of standards, which is ethical design. So that's not the same, but it's synergistic. It's kind of relative to this.
Oh,
So
that's a good thing,
I was
Alex,
just
you
the
pointed
same
out.
thing. Ash, this is Mehmet. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we are looking for you.
Okay.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Mehmet.
So I was just going to talk about ethic, but Alex was faster than me. But anyway, so this sounds like uh, standard for how to design standards, right?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
me, it's
And
more of an exploratory
yeah,
type. And it's something we should explore. I know, like for example, when I was exploring the human-centered design,
hmm
I stumbled into participatory design. Although they have some similarities, the participatory, for example, is like you bring everybody as a co-designer, while human-centered only based on the tester, the user testing result, right?
right.
So from it's kind of I'm still into that exploration mode where I need to come up with a specific approach where we can borrow from each side of it. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
Yeah. Just to add, I think in user-centric design, there are obviously other elements that you may incorporate in that process, in addition to what you listed. I think you listed 3 or something, but the ethic could be another one.
Yeah.
Maybe some, legal aspects could be another one. I don't know. So, yeah.
Yeah, we need somebody in the social uh ethics science part of it for
Mhm.
guidance.
Yeah.
Right. That's great. Thank you, Mehmet. And I was about to ask the same thing about ethics, but both of you